Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another episode, episode 2 of Couch Calls, where I take calls on my couch. So today, oh yeah, I forgot again to say, if you're a new subscriber, welcome. If you're an old subscriber, thank you for coming back. We appreciate you here. Okay, so today I'm with another special guest. Unfortunately, this guest doesn't want to be disclosed, they want to remain anonymous, so I'm just going to have them as an unknown caller. But we'll call them Diamond, that's the name we're going to be going by. So I have Diamond here with us today as a special guest, and we'll be discussing about her experiences with revenge porn. So Diamond,
yes.
Would you like to say hello?
Hi guys, my name is Diamond. Thank you for having me on here. I guess I'm here to primarily talk about revenge porn and I guess some of the things that I've experienced as a result of this. And yeah, I guess that's what I'm here for.
Do you want to tell us about your experience and what happened to you for you to want to talk about this topic?
I've been hesitant. Yeah, cool. Sorry. I have been hesitant about talking about the subject just because it is very personal. But considering the time frame that it happened, I feel like it's only right. And considering that we are under quarantine lockdown rules, I think it's even more relevant for it to be discussed now anyway. But yeah, I'm going to just give you guys some background history to the situation. I was dating somebody, a long-term partner, for about 2 years on and off, I guess you can say, throughout the duration of the relationship before it ended. I obviously took some provocative, intimate, images, and
Videos?
Well, the person claimed there was videos, but those never came. They didn't come to limelight. But
wow.
I know myself. I know the type of person that I am. I definitely am quite explorative, so that definitely would have come into play. But I think let's just focus on the pictures side of things.
Okay.
They definitely were there, and I had at that time when I was taking the pictures, I didn't have any reason to doubt I backtrack. I probably should have doubted that person, but I didn't feel any major red flags when I was doing it, and I felt comfortable to an extent taking them.
But was there previous red flags in the relationship?
So obviously, like I said, because it was an on and off relationship, there were a great abundance of red flags. I just obviously, in regards to them acting this way, I never expected this aspect. But other red flags, I never expected it at all. But in regards to them being a type of way, there were various things which were girl, what, can you see what's going on? But yes, I'm just going to explain what exactly happened. So going towards the end of our relationship, obviously things came to an end. In my opinion, I felt like it was amicable, but clearly, for the other party, it wasn't. Prior to this as well, the other person, should I say, legal terms always fly in my head. I'm going to try and make it very informal. The other person, at the time, obviously was aware that I was meant to be going to Dream Weekend. That was August 2017. And, Dream Week is essentially in the grill, Jamaica, sunset. The whole lot you can imagine.
Suspicion.
The whole lot you can imagine. And it's just party world, do you understand? So it was me and my girls, we're going to let loose and have some fun. Obviously, at the time when I was in a relationship with this person, I had said, this is the deal. My mom had already given the green flags to it. So, green light, sorry. There you are. And there was no, opposition to it. So I was just filling out formalities. I was just telling this person, hey, look, my mom's already said yes, but I'm going to let you know that I'm going here with X, Y, and Z, and this was the deal. Obviously, the person was yeah, sure, that's fine. on the outside, externally. Now I've obviously after evaluation and after some years, I can clearly see that internally it was not cool with that person. Now let's fast forward to like when this incident actually happened. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was March 2017.
Date?
It's actually the 3rd of
Time?
March. Yeah, I don't have the time, girl, but I know it's the 3rd of March. So I actually was indoors, like in my house, getting ready to like go to bed essentially, yeah, because I was doing my skincare nighttime routine thing.
Yeah.
And like I get a text from my best friend saying you need to check your phone. And I obviously I'm one person, I am with my phone, but I'm not with my phone. Like I'm with my phone for music, but I'm
D&D queen.
yeah, I'm do not disturb. So that is me. And it was only till like she kept persistently calling me, and I was like, okay, this is abnormal. Like this is not like her. What's going on here? So I picked up the call. She's like, you need to check WhatsApp. Now backdating a few hours to her call. So this was like around like 9 p.m. 9 p.m. going on 10 anyway. Before that, like when my mom got home, the environment was tense. It was awkward. Like my mom was like, I have something to discuss with you all. But because like people in my house were going out, she was like, cool, when everyone gets back the next day, we'll discuss it.
Calm.
Yeah, she kept her composure.
Mom would have came
in hindsight.
What's this? I want this.
And so when I actually like went onto WhatsApp, I'm seeing like obviously my mum's obviously forwarded the screenshots to my best friend because my best friend said to me that my mum had actually called her to like question her upon a few things. Anyway, so I'm reading these screenshots and like obviously certain things were said. I'm not going to go into detail about what was said, but essentially it was painting me in a very negative light. And then I said, what? That one where it, like I literally see myself, me, myself, and I, and pictures I recall taking in very provocative, sexual, sensual ways, and I'm like, yo, like
Crazy.
I think at that point I was in shock. Like, you know when they say you're in shock, but you don't react, but you're like, huh? That was me.
Yeah.
And I remember like obviously my best friend was giving me the dealo that this person, being my previous partner, had actually pretended to be her and had sent my mom a few messages and also had included the images that I had once trusted him with to my mom. Trying to go to sleep that night, I had so many questions in my head. Like, and bear in mind, this person was still messaging me like it was normal. They were actually talking about. No, I'm not crazy. No,
they are a psychopath.
Literally,
how can you
I think
send it to my mum and then
act normal. And do you know what the worst thing smacks it? Like on that very day, it was actually that person was with me in the flesh, like humanly flesh, physically present before my two eyes. And this is what you're going to do? I was like, what? Like at that night, betrayal. I was thinking, is this Judas? Like, what's going on? I don't understand. Why me? How? What? How? Like, so many questions were flying through my head. And I knew straight away, my mom said that there was a meeting. The meeting was going to be about that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the person was still messaging me. I aired them airtime. Like, I'm not one person to, unless I'm like, I don't give two fucks about you. I'm not one person to air because I just don't have a heart like that. But boy, I do. Yeah. Straight airtime. Anyway, now I wake up in the morning, summon the great meeting on the following day, and like, bear in mind, let me just put this disclaimer out here. I actually had an event, so it was one of my close friends' gender reveal / baby shower that very next day. So the day when we woke up on the Saturday, I was supposed to be attending an event. Yeah, just put that out there. Now, my mom calls all of the people out in the household to come downstairs.
Is he your brother?
Everybody, girl.
Oh. Gosh.
Yes. Everybody.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I'm so scared.
At that point, my heart like was doing flutters. I only blood of Jesus knows how I like. Honestly, when I look back, it was crazy. So I just remember going downstairs and I already knew what was going to happen. My mom first, she gives it to my sister, then to the other person.
She showed everyone.
And then to me. Yeah.
She showed everyone.
she showed everybody. She showed them all. And on that part, like, when I look back at that, like, I thought that's something that was wrong on her part, because you can't do that. Like, that,
especially your brother, like, that's
mad, very mad. And I think at that stage, like, when it got to my turn to holding this device, I said, hey, I already knew what was worse to come. Do you understand? Like, I already knew the content, and it was just like, the only thing that was left was someone to dig my grave for me so I can enter the ground, because I already knew that these are provocative sexual images that my flesh and blood have all seen before my very eyes. And, like, of course, like, people see in my house, like, obviously I have females in my house, so when I'm in the bathroom, yeah, they might pop in, or when I'm getting changed, they might come in. Like, we all have the same parts. I'm never fussed, but this is a whole complete different light. Like, this is a sensual and sexual light, and I'm like, that my face is even plastered at the forefront of that. And I mean, it goes back to what I was
you
saying.
can't even say it's not me.
I can't even, the person, do you know what? The person's very bright, because the person sent an image of when I had that very same bikini on with my face, and then sent the image when I had the bikini without my face.
No, they thought it through. He thought it through.
He was bright, meticulous, calculated, planned, everything. That is him.
Sorry, but it's not funny at all.
It's, you know,
I
at the time, I can laugh about it now, yeah, but then there was no laughing. Like, I was in, you know, when Kanye West says the sunken place, I was in the sunken place. My friend, it was my head was spinning, and I remember just sitting there. What can I say? I can't say no, because it's me. It's me. Then I had to go, you know what? In one corner, I'm feeling betrayed. Like I said, I felt like Judas had, you know, when Jesus was there and Judas said, hey, he's here. I felt like Jesus when Judas betrayed Jesus, because I was like, wait, hold on. This is the same person that was grinning and smiling in my face, messaging me as if everything was fine. He even had the cheek to say good morning to me the next very day. Wow. Yeah. And obviously, bear in mind, like I said, like, my mom was, so obviously she kept in her cool, but she didn't keep in her cool because, hey, overnight the blood was boiling. So everything that she had kept in over those hours was coming out on that Saturday morning. And I just remember that I felt so, like, I literally felt belittled, next to nothing. Embarrassed is, the embarrassment, child, the embarrassment. I felt embarrassed, like, and I felt even somewhat like my dignity, because, like, I knew that now people in my own very household do not see me in the same light that they once did. And I felt like that changed up the dynamics very, very drastically. And I felt, especially for the fact that obviously my relationship with my mum went, a whole 360-degree turn, like, completely left. And you can think of everything that an African or ethnic parent would say, like the shame, the disgrace, like, that was that. And do you know what? The name calling, like, you can take that, but you can never take and understand why that person would want to see you in such a light and do you dirty in that manner. And I think what was hurting me the most was the fact that I had actually even trusted you with those contents. Pictures. And when I took it because I was trying to please you. And, like, the whole situation made me really evaluate, like, the idea of actually being peer pressured into something, the idea of actually doing something to please another person, and the idea of trust. Like, and because we are in a period in which, like, we all are locked down, and, like, it's quarantine, like, you can't go see your link or the person that you're intimate with, and like, you have to, you know, come up with new creative ways virtually. Like, it is very important for you to ask yourself these very questions. How long you know a person isn't even a factor to consider. Like, I think you have to be very careful if you are going to do so. Make sure, and this is not me going out here saying, like, disclaimer, I encourage this, and I'm approving
all
of
for
this,
it, yeah.
but
if you
need to make sure that you take preventative measures, because these things, like, it can go from 0 to 100 very quickly. And I think one common error which most people do is you put your face in those images. That is a rookie error. Do not do that. Like, exit. Like, I'm doing a bit. I know you guys can't see me, but I'm exiting it in the sky. Do not do that, because
I'm doing it for you.
Do not do that. because you have to remember, like, stuff like this can go. I'm thankful and I'm lucky that this just only went to my mom and did not go onto, well, to be honest, to my
Social
knowledge,
media.
I don't even know if it went on a social media platform, because, you know, I think I would have known about it if it did go viral, but it never touched the internet, and I have to remain forever grateful for that.
Yeah.
But if you are unlucky and it does touch the internet, the repercussions of that, although people say, yeah, with time, everything heals, that's something that stays with you for life. So don't ever make that rookie error. And I think also making sure that you feel comfortable, not doing it because you are peer pressured. The man them are always going to want more. The man them are always going to want to see X, Y, and Z. If you're going to take those pictures, make sure you're taking it because you want to, not because somebody else's son is forcing you to come and take those pictures. And
But
in
it's
my
always
situation,
come down to either the guy asking, and it's like, if the guy asks, it's like, you either want to or you don't want to. You can say yes, you can say no, but
I understand, and like obviously it, with all these lives that are going around, and like obviously I'm not trying to say that the people in vans or preying up the lies, but of course, like, it's going to come up on the news feed. You're going to see it on the Shade Brother. You're going to see people twerking around, and yes, your man might be enticed by those things and start demanding those things from you. Sorry, but still, like, even if you are to succumb to it, which is natural because, you know, you want to please your partner, there are ways to go about it, and I feel like rather than putting your whole face there, like, you can adjust, you can find alternative ways to do such. But I feel like it's a thing where even if you want to please your partner, you have to think about this: can I trust this person?
yeah.
If your spirit, if your whole existence and your inner being is telling you no, just don't do it. It's not worth the stress, it's not worth the haggle. Because I can say, like, when I look back at how things unfolded, I had like my second year law school exams going on. I had the whole situation in my house change up. I didn't even feel 100. Like, my esteem went from 100 to 00000. Like, it
Yeah.
drastically dropped. And I feel like those things, it's a great betrayal of trust. It's nothing that you can just quickly bounce back from. Because even in your next relationships or your next interactions with people that you try and take it to that level with, you will always be questioned. It will always be in the forefront of your mind. Are they going to do me dirty like this person? Like, if I send them this, what are the chances that the same thing won't happen again? And it
Comes
can
down to
affect,
trust.
yeah, it does break down your trust a lot, and it can affect your interactions and your relations with people, because people, obviously, you're not going to go around broadcasting your life experiences with certain people, or especially some of the guys that you are intimate with. But I mean, it's part and parcel. I feel like in the digital age, and like most relationships that we're in, yeah, cool, like, we all live hectic lives. That you might be working, you might be in uni, you might not be able to see your partner a lot. So you might result in, like, I don't know, a FaceTime video call. You might result in taking a video. You might result in Snapchat. You might find other ways to do so. And yeah, they have their positive elements because it helps keep a relationship bonded, quotation marks. But then you've also got negative. You don't know that person's intention towards you. And I feel like,
It's always good at the moment, like the intention or whatever is good at that moment you're doing it, but it's like, you never know
you
what
don't
can
know what
happen.
tables can really turn. And I feel like my case was more so malicious. That person didn't want to see me. They knew that obviously Jamaica was a real possibility for me, and my friends. They
So it's
didn't
like, by
want me.
sending this to your mum was gonna be
Yeah, and
like,
obviously,
not let you go and stuff.
yeah, 100%. And me being able to travel, like, my mum's not quite liberal in most aspects, but when it came to traveling, like, I had the full green light to do that. Like, there was no, you can't do this. Like, she fully endorsed it. So that's one thing in which I knew that he wanted to put a halt to. And I think for him, it is slightly narcissistic because he wanted to know that he had some form of control over my life, in the aspect that I couldn't do this because he did what he did.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
that's crazy.
I think obviously it might not play out the same way for every other person, because each and every other person's story is quite different. But, you know, that person might save your images in the hope for when you do start to say no to them, they can blackmail you, they can bribe you. And it's like, you don't need that kind of stress in your life, because some people might not even reveal that they're going through this, and you might end up just being somebody's virtual slave for eternity and beyond. And like, it's bonded, it's actual bondage. You feel rubbish, you feel low, you feel depleted, like, emotionally you just feel dead and numb. And I felt, for me, it did take counselling 1,000% because, like I said,
So
the
you had
way
to go
I
counselling for it?
yeah, because for me, like my whole life, like I had to stop, I had to defer my exams, number one, and I was trying to be, I wasn't trying to be like a year or 10 years behind. Like I wanted to finish once I started, I wanted to finish when I finished. You
Yeah.
understand? And that was setting me back education wise, setting me back in terms of like my actual esteem. Like I'm a very outgoing, bubbly person, and I felt like I just withdrew myself. Only a close few were like in my circle, and like I wasn't really myself. And I think the biggest thing was I didn't understand why. Like the question why kept repeating in my head. Why? Especially when this person never came out to me and never made it seem like they had an inherent issue with me. And this is what I mean. Like people's intentions, you will never know them because it's all internal, it's all in the mind. And whilst they might, you on the outset, you'll be talking to someone, you could be talking to someone for a few months, a few years, a days, be it that. But you can never know what's truly in a person's heart. And I feel that when it comes to such things, I used to look at it, especially revenge porn. Number one, I didn't even know what it was. I knew like obviously people leaked nude, but I didn't know the actual legal terminology behind it. And I think once before this actually happened to me, I used to look at tabloids like, the Sun, the Metro, and like, even online and see like glamour models having their nudes leaked or exposed. But I thought it was something that just happened to, a select few. But and until it happens to you personally, or until you know someone that happened to within your close quarters, you will never really truly think that it can happen to you. And this is one of the
Yeah.
things that you need to have the forefront of your mind. Like if you're going to do that, just know that there could potentially be repercussions for you later on. And it might not be immediate because, like I said, I was with that person for a number of years, but it took the ending of the relationship, so something drastic on their part which they disliked, for it to happen to me. And I think I remember even like obviously I told you like I had to go to a really close friend's baby shower that day whilst this was all going on. I don't even know how I kept my sanity hat on because like
So you still got to go?
well
Girl, your
yeah.
mama.
Well, obviously, like this was like a really close friend, so like my mom knew like how close I was to this person. But it literally was you go from point A to point B, and you're coming back home, and that's what I mean. Like the home dynamics changed because there was no trust anymore. Even if I said like I was going here, everyone doubted where I was going. No one believed what I was saying, and I essentially had to like justify all of my actions as to even if I asked to go to like my local town centre, why? Like, why do you need to go there? And that was quite unusual for me. But yeah,
Sorry, no, sorry, you go. Continue.
sorry, I remember going to like my friend's gender reveal, and I was physically in body present, mentally I was away with the fairies because I was still hurt by the fact that this is not someone I knew like from yesterday.
Yeah.
This is someone that I've known for like, so it happened in 2017. I've known this since 2012, a good 5 years. Like, and if you know the person, obviously you know who the person is, you would never think that of that person. And this is what I mean. It's so important for you not to what people show you. I think was it Jay Hush? He said this thing about what you see from a person or what people show you is only their representative. Like that's not their true person. And I cannot highlight and emphasize it's not their true person. And I feel like the man love to lotion, and so do we. Like as females, we love to lotion. We like to thirst trap. We like to do the whole lot. But you need to make sure that you are not making sure you're not putting yourself at a point of vulnerability or a point of being exposed. But yeah, go ahead. You was going to say something.
I was gonna say, did you ever like have a conversation with this person to ask them like, obviously you knew why they did it, but just to be like, why did you do this? Like, why would you want to hurt me in this way, kind of thing?
Obviously because it developed into a legal matter. Like afterwards, it it became. I didn't talk to that person for a good 2 years. At that, and that was it. Became a legal matter just as a consequence of some of the other things that the person said in the messages. Obviously, I'm not going to touch base on that, but there were things that were like, no, like you cannot be saying that. But from what I know of the person, and like when I piece up the things that, when I look at a chronological event of things that happened, and when I start to piece it all together, I can really truly see that that person did not want me to live my life. Like they wanted, if my life was not centered around them or did not revolve around them, they did not like it. Do you understand? And I think me having that independence to just get up and go, I think was something they envied. And because he had insecurities because of things that he was doing, I felt like he then, to an extent, his own conscience started to eat him up inside internally. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. But essentially, the key point is I felt that person did not want to let go of the reins of control. And like I said to you earlier on, like I said to that person, like, there is no more relationship. Like, that is null and void. Like, we will be cool, but that's what it will always be. And it will never be anything more than that, because I was done with that. And I think they couldn't take the fact that I had actually said no, and my no meant no this time. And they wanted to essentially teach me a lesson. And like, going back to it, like, I had to, it took a lot of
no to me. Shit,
yeah.
tell your mama.
And do you know, it's like, out of everything, and like I said, I thank God to this very day that it never touched the net. But to do that and send it to my mum, like, I don't know what's worse.
The internet.
Okay, the internet's worse.
Yeah, no,
But the dynamics.
Yeah, it's like your mom.
You know what, the internet is like, you know what, cool, you can get a few people to report this, get it pulled down. Yeah, people might have a few screenshots, but the people you don't know, do you understand? Like, you never have to be in close quarters with them. But your own family members, that changes up the ball game, I feel. And of course, both situations are bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not putting one on a pedestal and one not on a pedestal. But I think for me, when I talk about my own subjective personal experience, it really made my life
a bit different.
Completely different. And like, obviously, I want to like touch base on like what the actual legal definition is, because, you know, when you're a law student, you got to look at the law, you got to look at the statute. And it says like revenge porn is literally the sharing of private sexual images, either photos or videos, of another person without their consent, with the purpose of causing them embarrassment and distress. And it can be through a text, so like a physical, as in like you posting the images to someone's address, or like electronically, like through like obviously text messages, emails, vice versa, online. And I feel like it's very important, of course, like, you can go to jail for it. And that's what most people don't realize. Like, the people who commit these crimes anyway, they think, oh yeah, cool, I'm just going to threaten this person and hang this over their head, with the purpose of causing them distress. But, you know, if the person actually wants to take it further, like, you can be getting a full custodial sentence. And I feel, out of anything, what I've learned from this the most is never put yourself in a position in which you do not feel comfortable with, only to please a person. Because most times, whilst, yes, no one put a gun to my head, there was no duress in that aspect for me taking those images, but I was doing it more so to please the person that I was with. Do you understand? And you have to look about it like, okay, I'm pleasing the person that I was with, but look at their character, look at what they're doing. I think you have to be very selective with these things. It's not something that you just go and send to every Tom, Dick and Harry, because
But did you feel like, when you were with that person, did you feel like that person would have been your long-term partner?
Do you know, okay, if I'm in all honesty, I think I deluded myself to think that, but there was every fact in the universe to show me that this was not the case. Like, this was not what God had written down for me in the stars and my destiny. Like, it just was not. And I think I was obviously forcing a situation which was coming to a dead cross end. Like, there was nowhere for it to go. But at the time, I mean, 2 years is, if not like 10 years, and it's not eternity, but 2 years is a length of time. And I felt like at that stage, considering how long I knew that person prior to even being in a relationship with them, I thought, yeah, do you know what? This is someone who, I can't see them doing this to me. I never, like...
You wouldn't even have imagined that. So you know that this is obviously put an effect on your life, like, completely, like, it's changed who you are as a person. Like, if this never happened to you, maybe there's certain things that you wouldn't question. So it's literally changed you as a person. It's made you who you are.
Yes,
kind of thing.
I definitely think, obviously, like, I'm still evolving, still growing, but it has changed up the dynamics of how I view people a lot. And I think also for myself, like, putting myself in certain situations, learning when, and this is the big thing here, disclaimer, if you feel uncomfortable at any point, you have a right to say no. A no means no. And you know what? If someone doesn't understand what no means, then they need to get to step in. And that's one thing that I realized, because I'm a people pleaser to an extent. And I feel like I never knew the true extent of what the word no means. Now, if I don't feel comfortable with something, no.
No,
Like, it's a straight up no.
simple.
Yeah. And that's something that, as a result of that situation, really taught me how to, like, set boundaries. And I guess, yeah, it really taught me how to set boundaries.
No. That's mad. That's a mad story. Definitely, like, puts like everything into perspective, and it's not even just with like pictures and stuff, but I feel like a lot of different things you would have to question before you continue to do it. So I think, like, for me, from your story, that's literally made me think about a lot of things. Like, I know I would definitely put things into question before I do it, and I'm just like, am I comfortable with this? Do I want to do this? Like,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
can this affect me in the long run? Stuff like this, because obviously, like, God forbid, like, obviously it never got out on the internet, but like, imagine if it had, like, this could affect your job, this could affect like your life, this could affect
Exactly.
like your marriage, like, it could
And
affect so many
whilst
things in the future.
obviously we are, like, the society that we live in is quite liberal in the sense that people are willing to understand, accept, and
They're
not
more accepting of
stigmatize.
it, yeah.
Yeah, they're not willing to stigmatize these situations or issues. However, it's not a nice thing. Like, and like you said, if you want to have a, you know, esteemed, developed career, like, you don't want to have to be then having to explain yourself when they're pulling up receipts on you. Do you understand?
Yeah,
And I think when they say prevention is better than cure, they are not joking
it
about that one.
is.
No, it is. Read and I've heard about, obviously, girls going to guys' houses, and like guys are having like cameras hid up. Listen, girls, obviously
Hidden
we are not the
cameras.
Yeah, it happens. The mandem was sometimes a bit, you know.
Is it that deep?
I feel like, and this is what I mean, like, you never know a person's intention, but if you are going to record the moment, definitely make sure it's on your phone. Like,
Yeah.
don't even, or do you know what, even better? A non-disclosure agreement. Draft that up and make sure you get the person to sign it, because you know
Everything's
what?
legal. Please.
Everything legal, boy, because you never know when tables will turn. And it's something that does need to be, it needs to be covered, it needs to be spoken on. And I think the more people that speak on it, the less stigma that will surround it. Because obviously, when you talk about, oh, revenge porn, you get like, oh, I'll never do that. But
Yeah.
you know what? We've all done that. We've all taken the 1-2 pictures. We've all done, like, nobody can sit here and say that they are holier than art. And I think just because you haven't had that exposure, or you haven't had that person who's wanted
Doesn't
to
mean it
take
can't
revenge on
happen
you,
to you.
doesn't mean it can't happen to you. And I feel like, as women, like, we all need to congregate and support one another. And I feel like it's coming out and discussing situations like this.
Oh, I think that was a lot to take in. So thank you again
No worries.
for giving us all of that information and that
My pleasure, my
experience.
pleasure.
Yeah, definitely puts a lot into perspective, and it will definitely make you think when you're doing things next. And even like people who didn't want to maybe just talk about it, it's just they know that they're not alone and stuff. That
And
it can happen to people.
there actually is like a helpline as well, which, I mean, if
I
it
can put
ever,
that in the description,
yeah,
the description box
it's
and
literally
everything
just
as well.
like revengepornhelpline.org.uk. I mean, if you ever do experience these things and you generally need someone to speak to, and you know, I think it is something that you should consider. So yeah, definitely pop it in the description box. But yes, it was lovely being on the show. Thank you
Yes,
for having
you.
me.
Thank you for being a guest, and obviously, yeah. Thank you
All
for
right.
being. Yeah, thank you for
All
being
right.
a guest. Yeah,
All right
thank
then.
you, and
Bye. Oh wait, I'm not. Oh sorry. Hey.
you want to leave so quick? Shit. Anyway, guys, yeah, that is the end of the video, and thank you again, Diamond, for being our guest. And like she said, I'll put the helpline and everything in the description. I'll put it here as well so you can see it. The email, is it email, is it phone
No,
number,
so
or
it's a
is it just
website
upload?
and phone number. They've got the whole shebang on there.
Yeah, okay, I'll put that all. And then if you need to use it or whatever, then it's there, you know what to go to. But yeah, hope you like this video. So like, comment, subscribe.
Definitely
Actually,
subscribe.
now I have to put it there. Yeah, yeah. If you like this, if you like more content, like you want to ever talk about anything, or if you want to discuss anything, like you can email me or whatever, and we can have a discussion about it. But yeah, thank you again, and I hope you guys like this video. So I'll see you in my next video. Bye.